Alright guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another video. We got my boy Super Saiyan 2 Rage Jeets up next. Technically Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta and Bulma. The Bulma part of his naming definitely does hold him back in the link set department, the category department. So, you know, that's one thing that's always held this unit back. One that is rainbowed. We do have a decent hidden potential system on him, to be fair. We do also have him on a Vegeta's family team, so triggering the extra additional key +1 and defense plus 122%, and that 50% chance of pulling a critical hit. For having a Vegeta's family category ally attacking in the same turn is literally going to be guaranteed, although it's very easy to trigger, because you can also run him on Bond of Parent and Child, where you've got Vegeta and Trunks, you've got a lot of other kind of Vegeta family base units on there as well, and one of the biggest ones is the new side banner Tech Rage Vegeta as well, who works really well with him and also is one of the best side banner units in the game. Unfortunately, I just do not have him. So do let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Don't forget to drop a like, subscribe if you're new. All the support is very much appreciated. And let's get going. So he does of course have Berserker, which typically only Broly's typically have, but other than that we have all the links active. But considering it's a Vegeta and Bulma, this is why his link set just isn't the best. Golden Warrior Doo-Doo link, we've got a few key links in there. Super Saiyan Prodigies is okay, standard Vegeta links, but the link set could be better. We're starting with a 207k attack stat, 186k defense. We do have dual SSJ4 leads, so we're not even on a 170 lead, we're on a 180 lead, which is, you know, not bad, not bad. You know, he's going to be greatly raising attack by 50%. We're starting with a 1.9 million super though. 1.9 million. But this is the main part of his kit, is the fact that he now has damage reduction and can counter with a bit of safety and do some decent damage. But a 1.4 million super, again, this is because of his link set, right? Super Saiyan and Prodigies, as I said, are decent links. They're kind of standard Vegeta links. That is attack plus 10% from Super Saiyan and attack plus 10% from Prodigies. However, Berserker, you're probably never going to trigger unless you forcefully run. In fact, not if you forcefully run. Maybe if you run, I don't know, not even a 170 lead to get Vegeta on the same team as a Broly, which, you know, you're never really going to be doing that because it's just not kind of viable or worth running. And then you have, you know, the likes of Shattering the Limit, Golden Warrior, Royal Lineage and Predator Battle. Royal Lineage and Predator Battle is fine. Typical, again, Saiyan, Super Saiyan, good units and Vegeta unit have those key links. Golden Warrior is probably one of the most doo-doo links in the entire game. And this is where the Bulma portion of him being a Vegeta and Bulma unit, even though it's kind of weird they made it a Bulma unit. I get why they put her there, but it's just basically a Vegeta unit. Like, the reason why Bulma is there is so you can have the counter and have her little animation pop up. But in general, the Bulma portion of his naming, or this being a Vegeta and Bulma unit, really holds him back because of those key links. Like, aside from the attack and defense plus 122% on passive, the 50% raise on super, which an additional would help him out a lot, especially if you can hit a crit as well. But aside from the 50% raise on super, and the 122% he's getting on his attack in his passive, his attack stat is really, unless you give him support, his attack stat is never going to be higher than 1.9 million. His attack stat is just never going to be higher than 1.9 million. Like, they could have done a bit more in his passive, maybe give him something on super as well, like attack and defense plus 50% when performing a super attack, something like that. Maybe build up attack for each attack he receives, you know, really play into the counter portion of his passive. Now that he has damage reduction, maybe every time he gets hit, gets an extra attack plus 10%, 20%, goes up to a total of 50 or 100. Give him that bit extra. Like, this whole Vegeta unit is literally made around him going mad and, you know, dealing damage, like going to beef Beerus. So why not play on that in his kit and just give him like a big attack boost? Like, I know he has damage reduction and he has crit counters, which means he can actually do, for a sub EZA anyway, he can actually do some solid total damage once he supers, raises his attack by 50%, then starts getting hit and gets, you know, and starts getting the counters off, especially crit counters. when he counters the basics. Like, all in all, it adds up. But in terms of the actual just amount of standard damage he does from super alone, it's not great. It is really not great. And his defense as well. We've got a Vegeta's Family category allow always on rotation because we're running a full Vegeta's Family team. So he's got the extra defense plus 122%. He gets the extra defense plus 80% for 4 turns after receiving an attack, which we've already done. And he's not even on 200k defense. Like, this guy actually had a decent foundation to be somewhat a pretty good EZA, and they kind of just done nothing with it. Like, don't get me wrong, because of the damage reduction and the fact he can counter and crit counter now, and you can kind of do it with a little bit of a safety net, he's an okay EZA, but that's about it. That is about it. We're in I know he's a sub EZA, but we're in 2023 where he's not even doing 2 million on a super. He's only just doing over 2 mil because he gets an additional, which is relying on a dupe system. His defense is not even 200k, but with 40% damage reduction, I can kind of accept it. And he has counters. But this is another unit like Ink God Goku that just doesn't really have a whole lot going for him. And as I said, it's mainly because of the naming of the unit and actually calling it a Vegeta and Bulma unit that really holds him back. Like, he could have had much better attack links if Bulma wasn't there. Like, he could have a much better link set in general if Bulma wasn't there. Like, the new one, amazing. And as I said, this guy had a great foundation to have a good EZA. And they've kind of just done the very bare minimum with him. Like, you could probably get away with using him in some content. But in terms of damage output, like, this guy is meant to be like an offensive unit. He's meant to deal as much damage as possible. And he's not even putting out 2 million on a standard super attack. I mean, we've got the rage condition, which is now 40% or less HP to trigger it, which before is 30, so that's quite nice. And now that he's in Rage, or Furious Vegeta as it's now known, he's going to be causing supreme damage to the enemy. If he hits the final flash, he'll be raising attack temporarily and cause supreme damage. If he gets the Furious Gallic Gun, he'll greatly raise attack by 50%, cause supreme damage to the enemy, and lowers enemy defense. He gets Ki +1 and attack plus 122%. So for a sub EZA as an overall, he's okay. 4.1 in rage modes, I mean, for his standard is good, but in general, not great. I said for a sub EZA, he's okay. Overall, damage output on a unit that come out in 2023 is just not good enough based on what this unit is meant to be. The damage reduction, great, he needed it, 40% is good. You can now counter with him and have a safety net. He doesn't even have 200k defense. Like, this unit could have been a lot better than he actually is. Like, he really could have been a lot better, and they've decided to do, like, the bare minimum with him, which is such a shame. Like, this guy should be dealing damage on a super attack. Like, he should be doing some very good damage. And this should be, like, almost like when EZA VB first come out. Like, remove the additionals. He should do decent damage for a 2023 sub EZA. And especially because he gets a 50% attack raise. Like I said, giving more in his passive. Like, let him build up attack every time he gets hit. Let him get, like, attack and defense on super. Give him an extra bit of attack just because he is meant to be just an offensive unit because of what he's based on when it happened in Battle of Gods. Let him go wild. Like, it's meant to be VB without the additionals. Big damage on the initial super. An additional... Cool, if it happens, you can raise your attack again by 50%, even better. But then, once you raise your attack, he's got the 50% raise. The crit or the counters are going to do even more damage because you've raised his attack. And altogether, he can do pretty good damage. He can do good damage now. But it's just, because they've done the bare minimum, his super attack is just not on piss. His super attack is so meaty. Like, hurry in 2023, and he's not hitting 2 mil initially. That's wild. That is wild. Like, is wild. Like, I can't. It's like we're playing like 2016 Dokkan right now. Like, he could have been so much better. Like, so much better. But in terms of the damage reduction when taking the counters, that's a good change. She needed it. But other than that, they've just kind of done the bare minimum with him. Even with a built-in crit, like, it kind of makes up for the fact his attack stat isn't too high, but still, not even 2 mil is just far too low. Like, at best, overall, and I think it's mainly because of the damage reduction, his EZA is okay. But it could have been so much more. So much more. You're not going to expect too much because they're sub EZAs, but they're sub EZAs, so they naturally have less stats. So just help them out that little bit more. Not to mention as well, in harder content, ESBR or burst mode, whatever, not even red zone, if this guy takes a super attack, you are getting absolutely just mollywopped. He doesn't even have 200k defense. So a super attack, this guy's done for. Done for. He's not even a glass cannon because he doesn't do damage like that. But one super attack, he's done for. Which is just far too much RNG to rely on. But it's disappointing because my boy could have been done. Like, he could have done so much more. Could have done so much more. But do let me your thoughts down in the comments. I'll see you in the next video, guys. And push.